So I'm in the mood of cheering. Let's do it together, shall we? Give me an A. Give me an E. Give me an I. Give me an O. Give me a U. What do we have? I'm pretty sure you all said vowels. On this picture here, we can see the 5 letters of the English alphabet. As well-known sounds and letters disagree in English, and here we have an example of such a disagreement, as in English there are 20 vowel sounds and 5 letters in the alphabet. When it comes to these 20 vowel sounds, they are divided into pure vowel sounds and diphthongs. What would be a difference between a pure or simple vowel sound and a diphthong? Let's try to pronounce the word cat. And now let's try to pronounce the word Kate. What would be the difference between the sound E and A? So it has to do with the quality of the sound. When pronouncing the sound E, the quality does not change, that it stays the same from beginning till the end. Whereas when it comes to the sound A, the quality changes, so we can definitely hear the glide from one sound to another. Now let's try to define what a vowel sound is. First, let's examine Daniel Jones's definition of a vowel. So, a vowel is a voiced sound in forming which the air issues in a continuous stream through the pharynx and mouth, there being no obstruction and no narrowing, such as would cause audible friction. What does this mean? So probably we shall pay attention to the words continuous stream and probably no obstruction and no narrowing. Why is it important? We have already mentioned that when pronouncing a vowel sound, something happens to the airstream. It is in the vocal tract. It is either restricted or diverted or shaped. So when producing a vowel sound, there is no striction whatsoever, no obstruction in the vocal tract. So the airstream is voiced through the vocal cords in the larynx and shaped with the help of the tongue and the lips to modify the overall shape of the mouth. The position of the tongue in relation to the palate is also an important reference point when it comes to the production of vowel sounds, as this position also shapes the air stream. In order to become aware of how to properly articulate vowels in English, it is good to classify them first. We shall take into consideration, while classifying them, which part of the tongue is raised towards the palate, the degree of opening of the mouth, the position of the lips, and finally the length of the vowel sound. Graphically, the articulation process of pure vowels in English looks like this. This vowel diagram can be found in every book devoted to English phonetics. And it is very helpful because it helps the learner understand how to position the tongue, for example, in order to shape the airstream so that a particular vowel sound is produced. Let's first analyze the horizontal line here and identify the meaning of the concepts front, center, back. They all refer to vowels, and that they mean the particular part of the tongue which is slightly raised towards the palate. Thus, for example, when pronouncing the sound E, it implies that the front part is slightly raised towards the palate. When pronouncing the sound, for example, that means that the center part of the tongue is slightly raised towards the palate. And finally, when pronouncing the sound, for example, oo, that would imply that the back part of the tongue is slightly raised towards the palate. Now let's get to the degree of opening of the mouth. And according to this degree, we have close, mid, and open vowel sounds. What does this mean? Again, we pay attention to the position of the tongue in relation to the palate. When producing a close vowel sound, the tongue would be at its closest in relation to the palate. When producing an open sound, the tongue would be at its farthest in relation to the palate. And finally, when producing a mid-vowel sound, that would mean that the tongue would be somewhere in the middle in relation to the palate. And we can pay attention to the degree of opening of our mouth as well. So when pronouncing the sound E, definitely the mouth is open. Whereas when pronouncing the sound E, the mouth is not close, but the tongue is at its closest in relation to the palate, and the lips are close together. We shall also look at the position of the lips because, as I have already mentioned, they shape our mouth and consequently shape the airstream as well while producing a particular vowel sound. So in this picture here, the lips are rounded, and that means that the lips are pushed forward into the shape of a circle. Here already we notice that the lips are spread, and that means that the corners of the lips are moved away from each other as when smiling. And finally, here we have a more neutral position of the lips, meaning that the lips are not noticeably rounded or spread. Finally, we shall also take into consideration the length of the vowels. And in English, there are short and long vowel sounds. So I would like to draw your attention to the way this length is graphically presented in the transcription with the help of a column, usually. These are the short vowels in the English language. So now there is nothing left but take each sound individually and become aware of how to properly articulate it in English.